our regional event is actually a market party. So it is an opportunity for you to bring your guests. So I'm hoping we have a ton of guests in the room and that you guys get to learn a little bit more about Nerium and the business opportunity that we have here. But first of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Laurie Dillon. I'm an executive director. I live in Olathe, Kansas. I was introduced to direct sales by accident, really. About 9 years ago. I was a stay-at-home mama with my 3 kiddos, and my youngest was just turning 1, and we had just built a new house, okay? And what I realized is that I wanted new furniture for my new house. But I was also just kind of not really looking for something to do so much, but I wanted something for myself a little bit is what I think I wanted. I come from a corporate sales background. I had been at home by that time for about 6 years with my kids, and baby number 3 was a surprise. But in our family situation, we were thinking that, you know, once my youngest was in school, which was my second child, this was the family plan, that I would be going back to work and contributing to the family and, you know, the retirement and saving for college and all of that, and then baby number 3 happened. And so then that plan got put on hold for another 5 years, which was fine, and we were fine, but we weren't putting a lot of money towards savings or retirement or any of that. We're living a good lifestyle, but nothing extravagant. There were no, like, grandiose vacations or anything like that happening. And so I was introduced to direct sales actually by a stranger. I was on the internet actually looking for a skincare product. And I was given the name of a company from my sister, and I Googled it, and I checked the little box that said I'd like more information. And I got a message, an email back from a girl, and she was in the Seattle, Washington area, and she said, hey, can I give you a call tonight? And so her name was Jenny. And so she gave me a ring, she you know, gave me some information about the company, she sent me some samples, and she followed up with me a week later, and we kind of hit it off on the phone. Her 2 children were the same ages as my older 2 children. She shared with me that she was a full-time teacher, and in the conversation, she was smart. She had put in there that she had just earned a free trip to Maui with the company. And I was like, well, there are no free trips happening at this house right now. I knew that. She also shared with me that she went out 1 or 2 nights a week and drank wine with her friends. That's how she grew her business. And I was like, I like wine. I have some friends that like wine too. And so I kind of put 2 and 2 together. And when she, you know, sent me information and everything, I was like, you know, I think I could probably do this. And so I did. I jumped in and I just followed, you know, this little planner thing that they sent to us. And about 4 weeks into it, I get a phone call from a girl named Sarah. And she says, hey, I'm Sarah. I'm Jenny's sister. I'm blah bitty blah in Sensaria, or that was the company's name then. And I'm like, oh my God, she's a bigwig. Why is she calling me? And she said, I do this training call on Sunday nights, and I'd love for you to get on the call. I'm like, huh? I didn't know what I was doing. She was like, so I just want to talk, I want you to like give your hot tips, like what's making you so successful? And I'm like, oh, I'm successful? I didn't even know that, right? And so she said, yeah, like kind of tell them what you're doing. I'm like I'm following the planner? Like you want me to tell them that I'm following the planner? And like that was really our first conversation together. And needless to say, you know, I just kind of sat in a room and I looked at the information and I saw the big picture, the big elephant for me. I think the first trip was a trip to the Bahamas. And I basically just looked at it and broke it down and said, okay, I gotta do this every week and I'm gonna be on that trip. And that's what I did do, okay? So I just followed the system that they had in place there. Unfortunately, the bad part of that story is the company went out of business. However, Sarah and I and Jenny remained friends. So that's the really good part of that story. Fast forward, Sarah contacted me about Nerium, you know, and at that time I was like, okay, been there, done that. I tried the direct sales thing, you know, I kind of liked it, but I'm over it. I did it. I'm okay. And I moved on, you know. Now my 3 kids were in school all day, okay? So I was really kind of looking for something I could do during the day. I needed my evenings free. I'm running my 3 kids to all their activities and stuff like that. And so Anyway, she's like, you should just take a peek at it, and she texted me a video, and of course I didn't watch it. Didn't know she knew that I didn't watch it. But Facebook can be our friend, right? Okay? I love Facebook. It's funny, Cole and I just had a little conversation about Facebook out there. You may not have a lot of likers out there, but you sure have a lot of watchers. Okay? So you might get 2 likes, but there's like 99 watchers. Wish there was like a little eye picture with a number next to it, right? How many people are watching? I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw that she earned a Lexus. And I'm like, what? I didn't know there was a Lexus. Apparently if I watched the video, I would have known there was a Lexus. So I saw that she earned a Lexus and my text to her was, what do you have to do to get the Lexus? That's all I cared about. Even though she had already been trying to get me to look at the business information. But what Sarah didn't know is that I was driving a Ford Expedition with 150,000 miles on it that we were putting Band-Aids on every month. It smelled like sour milk and Cheerios because I had kids, right? And I was thinking, I know Sarah looks great in that Lexus, and I know I'd look damn great in one too. And so, anyway, that was my message to her. So when she did probably send me the same video, I took a peek at it. She also sent me some information to listen to a call. It was actually a call that Darren Kidd was doing. Didn't know who he was, but I listened to this call, and I got off the call like this. Did I just change the thing? Okay. I was shaking. And then I had my husband listen to the call. And he said, do it. Give it a try. And I did. So that's kind of how all that worked, but what I love today is that I get to share this stage a little bit with Sarah, who introduced me to Nerium. So you guys are in for a huge treat today. We're actually going to share this presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit about the product part of it, and then Sarah will talk about the business. All right, so the Nerium buds, the fun stuff. We've been, basically this is street credit right here, guys. Okay? We've been on a lot of stuff. Maybe you've seen us on Facebook and stuff like that just from friends. But actually, we've been on The Doctors. We've been on The View. We've been in several magazines. I almost can't even keep up right now because on Nerium International's Facebook page, it seems like every day we're being recognized in another magazine. You know, whether it's a fitness magazine or a beauty magazine or something like that. Our whole company is based on before and after pictures. Okay? Because they're real. What I love to tell people about the before and after pictures, because I get this question a lot from people, are like, are those pictures real that you put up? Yeah, they're real. Well, you know, the lighting looks a little different. Yep, because they were really taken with somebody's cell phone. That's why it looks different, right? We're not using professional photography for our before and after pictures, none of that kind of stuff. Somebody's in their bathroom taking a selfie. Or you're, you know, on their front porch when you're giving them the sample and they're taking, you know, their picture of them. So this just kind of goes into a little bit of some of the before and after pictures we like to show. One of my favorite things is that the before and after, this first before and after picture is actually of a guy. Did you guys know that guys actually care about what they look like? They look in the mirror too, right? They want to look hot for their girls. So this one's great. I love this one. Obviously, you can see a lot of the changes here in his forehead and his overall skin tone and texture. This one's great too. There's definitely an obvious, it's funny, that crease is right exactly where the fold is. We planned it that way. It's funny. So yeah, so that's not a good one. But one of my favorite things, you know, the line is definitely, you see some significance there, but for me, I noticed the pore size on this. This one is great too. Has anybody, brand partners in the room, handed a bottle to somebody, they got to try it for 5 or 7 nights, and then they hand it back to you and say it didn't work for them? Yeah. Right? Good. I'm glad it's not just me. This is a great story because this woman tried the product for about a week. The brand partner didn't get back to her right away to get the bottle back, so a few days had passed by. And she came back, Brittany came back to get the bottle, and the lady said, it's okay. It's great, you know. I didn't see any changes. And Brittany's like, okay, well, let's just take your after picture. That's her after picture. Lily was like, sign me up. Okay, this one's awesome too. I'm not going to steal Sarah's story, but I will let you know for those of you that were there last night, I was in the bathroom with her, with Kenyon, when she told her she looked like the lady from Titanic. Crickets. I was like, I think I have to go to the bathroom again. It was pretty funny. But obviously you can see the differences, a lot less feathering. For me, personally, for her, it's the lines on the lips. I know all of us women that wear colored lipstick and stuff like that, that's a big thing. You don't want your color running in your lips. This one's great too. We're always so great about putting skincare on our face and all that, but we have to remember that chin, that neck. When you're looking at a picture of yourself after you've taken a selfie, you're like, oh, I need to lift my chin up, right? So now you can lift your chin up and use Nerium AD. Perfect one for summer, all those strapless dresses, tank tops, and all that kind of stuff. This is actually, could be sun damage, side sleeping, perfumes. They're very high in alcohol, so it dries out that skin, and that's how you get those deep crevices there, and then that's a big, huge difference on the right. I know for me, I'm great about putting sunscreen on my face. I'm a baseball mom. I'm at games, 80 games in the summer, and sometimes I forget about here, but I'm always wearing a tank top or something like that, so you got to start getting in the habit of using your skincare products and stuff on yourself. This one is great. This one is actually for our body contouring cream. This is for our Nerium Firm. So this is definitely makes that skin on her arm look healthy. She doesn't have fat arms by any means, but she definitely has that aging, sagging, loose skin. She's probably pretty fit, does some working out and all that, so that's a big difference for her. That, that makes her look, 70 to 30. It's a big difference. Okay, this one's great. Being a mom of 3, my stomach looks good after 2. It's the 3rd. So any of you that are in that process, stop at 2. Stop at 2. It's cheaper that way too. But obviously physically fit. She's not an obese, overweight person, but you definitely have the skin stretch out, right? So lots of help there with Nerium Firm. I love that, the belly button looks like the belly button again and not like the black hole, right? I'm not going to go there. This one's great. I love it when Big T comes to town because he's like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So, but this is definitely a confidence issue for somebody, right? I mean, I have a 17-year-old daughter. She couldn't wait. She's physically fit. She's a dancer. She's amazing, But she's like, I can't wait till you get that firm, Mom. And she uses it. Okay, I figured out what this is. So a couple of weeks ago when I did the presentation the first time with the new slides, this picture came up and you're standing on top of the screen, and I did not know what that was. But my husband made me aware that this is the bleg. The bleg, where the butt meets the leg. Okay? For him, it's his favorite body part. But definitely some difference there. For some reason, when you get older, gravity feels like you need 2 butts. I don't know, but one would be good, so stick your firm there. Knees, I have a lot of friends. I played softball when I was younger too. I have a lot of friends that, have some seriously banged up knees, discoloration, sagging skin, scarring, all those kinds of things. And Nerium can make a huge difference on the knees. So, how did our products come about? Why are we so different? All of that kind of stuff. Basically, what's unique about Nerium is that our products are real science. They're based on real breakthroughs in the biotech industry, okay? So there's been a lot of clinicals, a lot of research, a lot of testing, and all of that that's come about. And we're exclusive, okay? Nobody can duplicate what we have. It is unique to us. Our ingredients are unique. We own the patents on those. And then also our formulations, and then even the process of us extracting those ingredients for their Nerium AD product, for sure. So you can feel really confident when you're sharing our product with people that, here, give this a try. It works. Take your before and after picture. A lot of what I did in the beginning is that I just asked my friends to be like my guinea pigs. Like, hey, listen, I need to sample 5 people with this stuff. Will you be one of my people? And I still kind of do it that way. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm looking for more fresh faces, Do you want to try to see if in 5 days you're going to have better skin? Everybody's like, I'll try for 5 days to see if I can have better skin. So that's always really neat for you to know that. So we get into a little bit more detail about our exclusive ingredients. NAE8, we call it NATE for short. Some people can't say NAE8. Took me a while before I could. What NATE is that basically it's an extraction from the Nerium oleander plant. Okay, now there's Nerium oleander, there's yellow oleander, and you can hear things about, oleander's toxic. Okay. The molecule and the extraction that we pull out is not toxic, okay? There have been studies on it, there have been tests on it, we have toxicologists that explain all of it, that these ingredients are not toxic, okay? I like to share what Sarah shares, the same thing, Basically, a baby would have to ingest 400 bottles of Nerium AD in order for it to reach toxicity levels. And, first of all, you can't really order more than, 4 or 5 bottles at a time, so I don't know why you have 400. And if you have 400 sitting at home, you're not making any money. So that's just not going to happen, okay? And if you've even looked at our bottle, I don't know how a baby would even get the product out. So anyway, so just for you to know, that's how that the Nerium oleander is actually an extraction, and we actually use aloe to pull the NATE out. Okay, so that's pretty cool for you to know too. So it's actually a botanical to botanical extraction rather than using a chemical. The product was developed after 10 years of biotech research. It's categorized as a superpowered antioxidant, okay? And we do have a patent on that. And then the great thing about it is that it targets the visible signs of aging, but it addresses the causes of aging too. So that's different, okay? So if you were already a brand partner, we could always say it targets the visible signs of aging. But we couldn't go backwards and say that it addresses the causes of aging. This is actually new. So this is new in peer evaluations and documentation that is now available on our website. So you as brand partners have access to that information, but also your potential customers and your current customers have access to that too. They can just click on products, and then it goes into more, and then it says the science behind our products, and they can click on that. And then there is a category that says, peer evaluations, medical documentation, all that kind of stuff. And they just keep digging and digging and getting as much information as they want. So that's really neat for you to know that too. There we go. Okay, so the Scientific Advisory Board, this is great because, about anybody can have some doctor sign off and have their picture on a flyer, right? Pretty much. You've all been there, You go to a store, there's a little card table set up, somebody's there with their vitamins, there's a doctor picture on the flyer, all that kind of stuff, okay? What's neat is that we have a panel. Okay, and these guys have successful businesses of their own, okay? They basically are our sounding board, is what they are, okay? They look over our stuff, they make sure that everything's compliant, that everything is correct, and then they also give us advice, okay, on what we can say, what we can do. And the coolest thing is that, these guys endorse everything that we have going on, and they came on board before even EHT came on board, and just about the time we launched Firm and all of that. And they were actually a part of our company before we even knew they were a part of our company. Okay, so that's pretty neat because we know that Jeff Olson's investing in us and making sure that we have some great information to share with our customers and our potential customers. So they help us in supporting product development, and like I said, they're all practicing dermatologists and all of that for themselves. So this is good. This is awesome. The little hot tub on the side there, that is actually for your face, not your entire body. I know Amy Carrillo shared a story before. She's actually had this done. I want to go try this. I'm wishing I had it from before Nerium, and then now it would be great. But basically, this is called a Visio machine. It is the same sort of technology that can find cracks in microchips, okay? And basically what they do is they take a facial scan of your skin and it measures width, depth, and length of pore size, wrinkles, fine lines, and even emerging lines, so the ones we can't even see with the naked eye, okay? And then basically they retake the picture throughout the clinical trial, and then they keep placing it on top of each other to see the difference in it. And the cool thing you can see down here at the bottom is that, you know, with the night cream, that 93% show a significant improvement in the appearance of their wrinkles, okay? So that's fine lines and wrinkles diminishing, okay? In depth, size, length, all of that stuff. 92% show a significant improvement in radiance. So radiance is color, overall tone of your skin, okay? So that's really neat too. So those kinds of things like, you know, sunspots, age spots, discoloration, any of that kind of stuff fits in that radiance category. And then with the firming body contouring cream, 83% improvement in the cellulite, okay? And the cool part, the best part about this is that, you know, you can see numbers like this when you see other commercials for skincare and all that kind of stuff. But if you read the fine lines on the bottom, it's usually just somebody that, you know, did a little survey, okay? You know, 90 women out of 100 said that they saw less wrinkles, you know? Well, they're going to say they saw less wrinkles because they just spent a lot of money and they need to justify it to their husband. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, and who knows, maybe they're getting paid for doing that survey. Anybody ever get a phone call to be paid to do a marketing survey? Yeah. Interesting, right? So this is pretty neat for you to know that. So the age-defying night cream, it's our Nerium AD formula. Okay, that's what's available here in the United States. The coolest part about this is because I did come from a skincare company before, we sold multiple products. So we had, you know, steps, several steps that we could, you know, sell to our customers. Okay. Making sure you guys are awake. Or me, the other. The cool thing is that this addresses everything. And I'll be honest, even when Sarah sent me a bottle to try it, I was like, okay, so what else are you still using with it? I mean, I really wanted to know. You know, she looks good. Like, what are you still using with it? You know? And so she's like, nope, just the Nerium. I'm like, okay. And I was scared. I was a little bit scared, honestly. And so the cool thing is that it's everything. It's fine lines and wrinkles, discoloration, uneven skin texture, pore size, and then aging or loose skin. So how do you get it? Okay, basically, friends don't sell to friends with retail. We give them a deal, right? So our preferred customer price is $80. And with that $80, what is awesome is that you're getting the best price available to you. You're also getting the same price. If you're a customer, you're getting the same price as what your brand partner is getting it for, okay? So there's really no like, oh, she's making a, you know, huge commission on me or whatever, but she is, but but she buys the bottle for the same thing, okay, for the same price, just so you know that. She's getting her free, but we're going to talk about that. The other cool part is that it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So I know for me, I have a really great posture when I am selling somebody a bottle of Nerium AD. I'm like, hey, you know, you're going to try it for 30 days, you know, take your before and after picture. You're going to like it, love it. And if you don't, we have a 30-day empty bottle money-back guarantee. Return it and get your money back. No big deal. And I'll be honest, 2.5 years, I've had 2 people return their bottle. That's it. You know? So it wasn't really that they didn't like it. One was that the husband saw it on the credit card. And you need to be doing Nerium so that he doesn't have to look at the credit card that close. So anyway, so that's how you get the product. The other cool part is that I always tell my friends, like, listen, you only really have to pay for Nerium one time. The only way you're going to pay for Nerium more than once is if you keep it a secret and you don't tell other people about it, okay? Maybe somebody hasn't walked up to you yet and said, you know, what are you doing? I notice a change. I see something different in you, okay? So sharing it with 3 friends, when you refer 3 customers, you get your personal product for free. And that works for both brand partners and customers. The day cream, I was excited when they introduced this because, I mean, if you started with Nerium, we all know that, you know, you had the night cream and then you went to go order the night cream, the person wanted the night cream, and then they were thinking like, okay, Laurie, what do I do during the day? Keep doing what you're doing. You know, I mean, that's what we had to say. So when they launched the day cream, it was really, really exciting. And for those of us that do have a little bit of skincare knowledge, the ingredients in our moisturizer are amazing. It has green tea, it has vitamin C, it has hyaluronic acid, 4 high-powered moisturizers, a peptide blend. All those things I mentioned, I sold in my other company for $50 a piece on an average. I think the lowest was 45, the highest was 65. Sarah can vouch for me on that one. So pretty neat. First of our kind, anti-aging product on the market. We leverage the same breakthrough technology and ingredients in our day cream, so it has the Nate in it in the day cream as well, and it keeps your skin hydrated all day. And I know the guys use both. The body contouring cream, okay, this is amazing. It's been actually out on the market for a year now. We've sold out of it a bunch of times over the year. Actually, I had somebody message me last night and she was like, hey, I need some firm. Can I trade some night cream with you for some firm? I'm like, I wish I had some to trade with you. I don't even have any. And that's not good because there's a trip coming up in 4 weeks. So they make that firm hook me up. So the Nerium Firm actually helps smooth your skin, tighten firm. You saw some of the before and after pictures. It helps with love handles, stomach, thighs, upper arms. Great for men and women both. EHT. Yes. Okay, so, you know, we get back from convention. We're launching EHT. Actually, the pre-sale starts next Friday, so we're less than a week away. And I put up a few posts about EHT, and everybody's kind of asking, what the heck is this? What is it? Da-da-da. Apparently, people care about their brain. Apparently. Okay? I'm like, holy crap, I can't even keep up with it. I like put out a Facebook post that, hey, I need some help. Like, I need people to be calling these people back for me and helping me out here. So, EHT is going to be amazing, you guys. It's brain health. You know, your brain is everything. Okay? Yes, you want to look good, but moreover, you want to be thinking good. All this kind of stuff. When they mentioned this product when we were in San Jose, I don't think there was one person sitting in that room that didn't automatically think of 3 people they knew they wanted this product to give this product to. I mean, I thought of tons of people, but immediately just in my family, I thought of my son, ADD. You know, I would love for him to have some help in focusing. I know for me, I could use some help in focusing. The apple never falls far from the tree, people. He is the one that looks most like me, and yeah. And then my husband, too. And I'm going to share just a little personal story on that. You know, when you're having conversations with people and then they don't remember you had the conversation, that's a problem. Okay. And so he brought it up to his doctor. He just turned 50 in November, and he mentioned it to his doctor, and his doctor put him on a supplement. He did, okay, to help with brain function, to help with memory, recall. That supplement is $150 a month. EHT will be $50. So that's huge. So make sure when you're talking to people about EHT, they're probably already, you know, especially if they're a supplement taker, they might be, you know, just kind of taking things like folate and stuff like that to help with those sort of things. And that's where the EHT comes in. And that's actually a new discovery because EHT is discovered from coffee. Okay? So that's pretty neat. So I get to do the fun part and trade over the microphone and get myself out of the way. And I'd love to tell you that the next slide is coming. Oh, there we go. That's right. It gets fancy on this one. So it's my pleasure that I get to introduce to you guys, and she's going to be our speaker and our trainer later today, but she's going to share her story and business information about Nerium. 2-star National Marketing Director, Sarah Nilsen.
I have the fancy mic because I'm very gesticular, so I talk like this. So, might even dance for you guys. You know that from last night. Thanks for showing up today, guys. It's Saturday morning, and I know there's lots of things you could be doing because we're in Kansas, and this is where everything's happening. So, and you guys, I say that in fun because someone came up to me last night, I think it was Mike, and said, "You know, you always make fun of Kansas when you're here." I'm like, "Well, you guys make it pretty easy. Let's just be honest." So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the business side of things, but, you know, Laurie's like, "Can I tell your story first?" I'm like, "They've already heard it. Is there anybody that hasn't heard my story?" Like, oh. I was hoping there were only 2 hands above. I'll be like, "I'll tell you later." Okay. Let's see. Well, last night I told a different version of it, so I'll tell another story today. I have been a brand partner with Nerium for 2.5 years. I signed up on Halloween in 2012. But before that, as Laurie mentioned, I was in another direct sales company selling skincare. I was there for 10 years. And I had been like a real job snob before that. I just sort of thought direct marketing was for people who couldn't get a real job. Has anybody ever felt that way before? It's kind of like, what? You know, for like the quintessential single mom or mom that maybe, you know, didn't want her husband to know she bought $25 lipstick or something, so she had to get her own money, that kind of a thing. And I found myself in a situation where I was doing really well selling skincare to people. Like, wow, this is awesome. I ramped it up to like 6 figures in just a short amount of time. And I was like, man, I thought I was a Shizhnitsky. Like, this is awesome. I don't ever have to set an alarm again. I get to go to all the soccer games. I get to be at the bus stop. I can go on vacation and travel and do whatever I want. Well, unfortunately, there was July 19th happened. And for those of you who weren't in that company, that won't mean anything to you. But on July 19th, 10 years in, we got an email that the company was closed. Like, not that it was closing, but it was closed. So not only were we not getting, I had no more income, and I had, built this nice house on the water, I had an assistant, I had office, I thought I was doing everything right, but I wasn't getting paid for the month before, and then there was going to be no more pay coming after. So I had a decision to make. Like, what do? I need to do something, because guess what? My mortgage didn't adjust. That was weird. So I had to do something, and I had gotten used to my lifestyle, and I didn't want to give it back to someone at the corporate level, so I decided to stay in the industry, find another company, and did some research. And it's funny, when a company goes out of business, it's like ambulance chasing. Like, all of a sudden, everybody's sending you kits to your door, and everybody's, you got to check out my company. And so after some research, I found a company out of California that was the same thing. I chose it because it was skincare, it was similar, and the comp plan was similar, so I thought, okay, this is an easy transition for myself, for my customers that need a product line, and for my team that needs a home. But if you can imagine, your CEO is Lindsay Lohan. That's pretty much what I was dealing with. I mean, this girl was a train wreck. And I got thinking, okay, Sarah, just as long as your checks keep coming, she lives in California, you live in Washington, you don't have to deal with her, just do your job, it's fine. But I knew that I wasn't going to be there long term. And I'd also gotten bored. It was party plan, and if any of you guys have done party plan, you know that's a lot of work. I was schlepping all my stuff around in the car, hoping people show up to the party, schlepping it all out, getting all the order forms, and then listening to one by one. Oh, I forgot my checkbook. Oh, I didn't like anything. Oh, my husband said no. Oh, I'll take a pair of exfoliating mitts. It's like, okay, so you just spent 3 hours and you made, 25 cents. And I kind of felt like I didn't want to do that anymore. And my friend Dana called me about Nerium. And she's like, hey, you got to check out Nerium. It's the best thing ever, right? Your friends told you that too, right? Oh my gosh, you guys, it's a miracle cream. You're gonna be rich. It's gonna be amazing. And I was like, no, I'm not interested. I wasn't interested in starting over, quite honestly. From what I had lost with my first job and ramped up with my second job, I was making about half as much money, but I had, downsized enough that I was kind of comfortable. Like, I wasn't just eating top ramen every day, but I wasn't like, planning my, new condo in Maui or anything either. So I was right here. And some of you in this room might be right here right now with whatever your financial situation is. You're getting by, but you're not really dreaming about anything. That's where I was. So I wasn't motivated to change. I wasn't hurting enough that I was willing to, go through the building process again. So I ignored her. And she sent me a bottle. I never opened the package. She sent me videos and magazines. And like Laurie, I didn't know that she knew I wasn't watching the videos. And it got to the point where she was calling me and I would look and I'd be like, no, I'm not answering it. Then she had her upline, Rick Frisk, calling me. And I remember I used to say. And he tells this story, it's kind of funny. You guys might not think it's funny to me now. But at the time, I remember him calling, and he's like, hey, Sarah, this is Rick Frisk. And I was like, who, Dick? He tells that story all the time, like, you couldn't get my name right. We talked to you for 20 minutes. And anyway. Finally, one day, I accidentally called her back. And what I mean by accidentally was I was scrolling through my iPhone. You guys have done it. And I accidentally called the wrong person. And so she answered the phone. I thought I was calling the hair salon, and I actually called Dana. And she answered the phone. She's like, hey, Sarah. And I had that moment where I was like, now she's got me on the phone. Now she thinks I want to talk to her. So I did what you guys would do, and I played it off. I was like, hey, girl, what's up? Sorry it took me 3 months to call you back. I was very busy. Just working down my list to the D's now. What can I do for you? So she said, hey, listen, you know what? I told her, thanks for thinking of me. I'm not interested. Appreciate all your time and energy. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm sure it's amazing, but it's not for me. And then she proceeded with, listen, as your friend, I can't have you saying no until you know what you're saying no to. So just listen. Forget Jeff Olson, forget the meeting, forget the videos I've been sending you for 3 months. Just meet me for coffee. So I was like, okay, fine, coffee. So I went and met her for coffee, and I walked in, and there was Dana, Anna Woodward, and Rick Frisk at a booth, waiting for Sarah. Of course, I didn't know who they were at the time. I found out who Rick was. I was like, okay. And the first thing Anna said to me, you guys, and if you're working with somebody like me that keeps telling you no, but you know that you have conviction for what you're offering, what she said to me that really changed my paradigm about this meeting was, Sarah, if the timing was right, if the product was right, if the money was right, if the people were right, are you at all recruitable? And I was like, well, yeah, right? Yeah, if everything's perfect, yeah, I'm in. So it shifted my paradigm from all the reasons why I didn't want to do it to letting them share with me the reasons why I might. And that 15-minute coffee turned into an hour and a half. And literally, you guys, they'll tell you, at one point I was like, you guys need to stop talking. I get it. I'm on board. Give me a minute here. And I walked out, and I got in my car, and this is another tip. This is how I built my business. I got in my car, and I called 12 people on the way home from that coffee. It was like a 30-minute drive. I called 12 of my friends who I thought would understand the entrepreneurial piece of this. Not 12 people that would use the product for me for 60 days and tell me what they thought, but 12 people who I thought would understand timing. 12 people that had experience or needed money or whatever the reason that came to my mind. My dream team. And I said, listen, I don't know what you got going on. I have no reason to believe you're looking for something new or different. But I really feel like I just found something amazing. And I want you to hear what I just heard. Would you give me 30 minutes on the phone? And I asked Anna Woodward to basically get on a call and tell everything that she had just told me. And out of those 12 people that got on the call with us that next day, 7 of them all signed up the same day I did. So I was able to get my hair cut on my first day. I was like, whoa, this is easy. Well, it wasn't as much easier after that, but that first day was good. So I had to quit my job because I was already selling another skincare company. So I went into this position where I had to motivate myself out of desperation because now I had no income again. I had to borrow the money for the kit because in that year that from when my first company went out of business and I was ramping up, I had spent all of my savings on the mortgage. And actually that day that I met with Dana, I had just put the house on the market because I was getting to the point where it was stupid to keep it because there was no income coming in that would allow for that. And I quit my job. I put my head down. I got bottles out. I got on Facebook. I got magazines out. I talked to everybody that I could, and I was putting up before and after pictures. I was going to the post office 2 or 3 times a day because I had lots of time, right? Nothing else to do. So 4 months later, I looked up and I had earned the iPad, earned the Lexus, earned the $50,000 bonus, earned the trip, and been able to help other people get off on a great start too. So. Thank you. The cool part about that story, though, is it's not because I did anything great or special. Although, we do have a little bit of awesome happening up in here. But really, it's because I was able to plug into a system that's awesome. Every single person in this room is selling the same bottle. We have the same 24 hours. We're listening to the same videos. We're listening to the same calls, right? So what's the difference between the people who are successful and the people who aren't? It's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to go to the post office right now. I'm willing to drive an hour to meet you. I'm willing to get on a call with you at 11 o'clock at night. I'm willing to skip the soccer game to come do your launch. I got to do what I got to do to build this business. And I'm willing to make those small sacrifices now so I don't have to make them later. You see? So it's not that I did anything great or I have some special skills or I live in the right town or I know all the right people. It's because I'm willing. And so if you're willing, you're in the right place, because the only thing we can't do for you guys is give you the desire. We can teach you everything. I don't care if you can't sell anything. As a matter of fact, if you can't sell, then that's even better. But we can't give you the desire. We can't give that little fire in your belly that says, this is going to take me somewhere. Okay, I just went off. So let's talk about our company a little bit here. Why Nerium? And there's a lot of good companies out there. There's a lot of great products. There's a lot of great comp plans. But I really feel like Nerium has the trifecta. We got to have it all working for us. And it starts with our leadership and our culture. We really don't want to sell you on a product or a comp plan. We would much rather you fall in love with our culture. Because if you can't feel our culture for yourself, then you're probably not going to last very long here. Because we're really big on self-development, we're really big on giving back, we're really big on helping people, and if that's not something that resonates with you, this might not be the right opportunity. It's not just about wrinkles, right? Because when you get the money monkey off your back, and if you stay with this company, you will, you have to attach it to something that matters to you. Something else has to get you out of bed every day, right? Something else has to keep you motivated when it's not money. And so we encourage you to think about that up front. Okay, it's not just about how am I going to pay for the minivan or how am I going to pay for the sustenance, but bigger than that. So, for example, we gave over $1 million to Big Brothers Big Sisters last year. That's awesome. I know you guys are candidates for a lot of that. Jeff Olson, he wrote The Slight Edge. I don't know if you've ever read it. It comes in your kit if you're a brand partner. It's an amazing book. It has nothing to do with Nerium, but everything to do with life. And one of my favorite things about it is the whole premise of the Slight Edge is that the Slight Edge is always working either for you or against you. Every single decision that you make all day long, even though it might seem insignificant at the time, is either leading you to your goals or keeping you from your goals, right? Like if you have a goal of saving money, every time you go spend $6 on Starbucks, it's either taking you towards your goal of saving or not. Every time you eat an Oreo, or a bag of Oreos, right? It's either keeping you from your goals, or if you say no to the Oreos, it's helping you get closer. Even though I do this all the time. Because diets always start on Monday, right? It's the only day you can start a diet. You guys know that. And so it might be like Sunday, and I'm like, I'm starting my diet tomorrow. So what do I got? I got to hog everything down in the kitchen. It's like a free for all because it's the day before the first day of your diet, right? Is that the Slight Edge working for me or against me? Because I'm thinking to myself, this cheeseburger is not going to keep me from my skinny jeans, right? Yeah. And then Live Happy magazine. It's founded by Jeff Olson. It has nothing to do with Nerium, but he has really involved in the whole positive psychology movement. And Live Happy as a brand is the corporate sponsor for the movement globally. And so what that does is it helps give us this global halo. Whereas people might not be as interested in skin cream, but they're interested in positive psychology and therefore create a connection with you or with this company as a result of that. Does that make sense? Pretty cool. So we're putting our money where our mouth is my point. We have a lot of street cred, like Laurie mentioned. Not only have we been in some of the most prestigious magazines in our industry, but we're always in there. There are companies that have been around for 20, 30 years. In fact, most companies that have been around 20, 30 years will never be in these magazines. This gives you a lot of street cred. So when you're talking to your friend about Nerium and they've never heard of it, you can hand them a magazine and say, check it out. Read through this. Thumb through it. It talks all about how we work and what we do and who we are. And you don't have to say anything. Right? It's a great sales tool for you as well as giving us credibility. And why relationship marketing works. Word of mouth. Have you ever bought something willingly from somebody that you don't like? Most of us know, right? Won't you walk away from a car deal if you don't like your car salesman? Or won't you go to another... Yep, you would. Okay? You would. Low startup costs. If you've ever had a traditional business or you're involved in one or you used to own one, you know a lot of money to start one, and it's a long time before you start actually seeing profit. Because you have to pay for all that overhead, you have to pay for your employees, and all of the things you have to pay for up front, right? Seriously, you can start a business with Nerium International that will pay you for the rest of your life if you let it, for as little as $250. That's crazy to me. $250. What do you spend $250 on? You could lose $250 at the casino last night, and some of us did. It's a nice casino. Have you guys been to the Hollywood casino? So $250, if you can parlay that into a future. What's the worst thing that happens? You spend $250 and then you don't even ever open your kit. You use it for like a plant stand in the hallway. Okay, then you're out $250, but you don't have to stop the bleeding. But I'll tell you this much, if Nerium was publicly traded, which it never will be, but if it were, we'd all be clamoring to invest a lot more than $250. Okay, unlimited earning potential. Some of you guys heard my story last night about earning potential. What time is it? 5 till? Okay. I'm not going to tell you the story. Okay. No boss, no employees. So you don't have to worry about dealing with all that personality conflicts and stress of everybody, having a cough, you can't come into work. Trading leverage. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And the tax benefits. Having the ability to write off your cell phone, write off your gas, write off your home office, write off your travel. A lot of people will join a company like this solely for those tax benefits because they don't have any more deductions. So don't forget about how great that is. So here's what our starter pack includes. And the starter pack is for people who are like, okay, I don't want to totally miss the boat here, but I'm not looking to just come out of the gates on fire and ramp up my business super fast. This is for people who want to get their feet wet, they want to get in the system, but they're not really sure what direction they're going to go. You're going to get free bottles, your website, all your training material, everything that you need to start a business. And then you can, if you want to grow quickly, you're going to want to get some more bottles. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you think about each bottle as a fishing pole, and you have more poles in the water, theoretically you're going to catch more fish quickly, fill your bucket faster, correct? Because what we do with the bottles is we give them to people to try for a few days. Check it out. Hey, listen, I'm super excited. I just got involved with Nerium International. It's that one-step anti-aging treatment that everybody's buzzing about. If I could get you a bottle to try for a few days, would you use it for me? Take photos and give me feedback. The good news is, nobody says no. I've never had one person in 2.5 years say, no, I will not give you my opinion. My opinion matters not. I've been watching Game of Thrones and stuff like that. No. So the more bottles you have, the more people that you're going to be able to prospect at once. If you only have 3 bottles and you're using one for yourself, you got 2 out, now you're kind of all dressed up and nowhere to go, waiting 5 days for those people to come back. And guess what? One of them goes MIA with your bottle. She will. Or he will. It happens. And then you're like, man, I just gave that person $100. I need my bottle back. And then the next person maybe uses it for a few days and doesn't like it, let's say. And then you're like, well, I'm not very good at this. This business sucks. Like, I haven't made any money. It's been 7 days. But if you have more bottles, if you have 10 bottles out and 5 people say no, you got 5 yeses. If you have 2 bottles out and one goes MIA and one says no, you got nothing. So now I understand that finances play into it, right? You either have the money or you don't. When I started, I did not have the money. I wanted a $1,000 kit because I get it. I wanted the most bottles, but I didn't have the money, so I had to borrow it, which is why I was most motivated to earn it back quickly. And I'm going to tell you this much. If you are working, if you're in the sales, if you're in the workforce at all, you're working with someone for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, some of you I bet, and you don't have $250 or $500 to start a business that can change your life, that should bother you. Because the person who employs you does. Someone's leveraging you. So you get to flip the switch. You can decide right now today, I'm going to flip the switch. And then you should never have to buy another bottle of Nerium again. Isn't that cool? We're the only company that does that. I came from a company where it was like, at the end of the month, and some of you this might resonate, it's the 31st, and if I spend or sell $300 by the end of this month, in the next hour and a half, I'm going to get a check for $1,000. So what do? It's like all of a sudden, I think I need 300 bottles of mango shampoo. Yes, I do. I'm going to go put them in the garage next to the mango chapstick and the mango body butter from last time. Okay? And that's how it works. the companies are dependent on you to buy your product to keep things moving. And that's how you buy your paycheck, or buy your trip, or buy your ring. Nerium, you can't do that. We don't want you to do that. You should never have a bunch of inventory. You should never have a car full or a garage full of inventory. You should never have a racked up credit card because you've been buying Nerium. I don't even know how to buy a bottle of Nerium, quite honestly. So what happens is every time you sign up a customer or a brand partner, Nerium's giving you inventory back. So those first bottles you're emotionally attached to because you paid for them in essence, but as you start getting them for free, you don't care who you give them to. You're like tossing them down the hallway, hoping someone will catch it, you know? It's like, hey, what's your name and number? You know, I call you back. Truly. Because Nerium's absorbing all the risk. Isn't that brilliant on behalf of the company? Because they know that if you're not paying for it, you're going to be much more excited to get it out. You're not going to be as worried about who you're giving it to. And we never know whose hand it's going to land in and what it's going to do to them. So you won't ever have to worry about having a credit card full of Nerium or a garage full of Nerium. And then we have our Nerium Lexuses. So basically, in a nutshell, the way that we like to create the rhythm with you guys is to lock arms in the beginning and help you fast start qualify and get off to a good start. And what we're looking for is 3 people to use the product and 3 people to sell the product with you. That's 6 people out of all the people that you know that we want to invite, that we want to join on with you. 6. So you don't have to have 500 friends using the product. You don't have to have 35 people join your team in the first month. We're looking for 3 customers and 3 brand partners. Is there anybody in this room that doesn't know 3 people who need to look better and 3 people who could use a little extra dough? Raise your hand if you don't know 3 people. That's my point. Okay? When you do that, you've made money, you've got your free bottles coming back to you, you've earned your investment back, you're off and running. If your group volume is 4,500, you're also going to get an iPad, and I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, but that's kind of nice to have an iPad, and you're still getting your money, you're getting paid. And then when you help your 3 people get their iPad, you can get a Nerium Lexus. Yeah, right? How many of you guys in this room know somebody that drives a pink Cadillac? Yeah, and it's probably the same person. Seriously. And I'm not knocking on Mary Kay. Mary Kay's a good company. They got great products. They've been around a long time. They're in all the countries. They're doing something right. But what that does mean, what I am saying, is that all the people who are going to make the big money in Mary Kay already did. And all the people that are going to make the big money in Nerium haven't even signed up yet. This is your opportunity. You're in a room full of people, in a room in Overland Park, with a bunch of Lexus drivers in a room on a Saturday morning. That should tell you where this company is going. That's a clue. And then here's the cool part. So as you leverage, now you only have an hour a day, let's say, because you're busy, you've got things going on, you've got families, hobbies, jobs, whatever. You're like, I can do this for an hour a day. And then I'm taking the time commitment thing off the table for all of you guests. You're like, I don't have time for this. BS. Yes, you do. We have time for what's important to us, right? If I told you that if you gave us an hour a day every day for the next year, you were going to make $1 million at the end of the year, would you find an hour? If I told you that if you invested $250 or $500 or $750 today, that by the end of the year you're going to get paid back, $100,000, would you find the money? Yes, you would. So don't tell me you don't have it, okay? Because we can figure it out. You have an hour a day, so you're probably going to find maybe a customer or 2, or maybe a brand partner or 2 a month. That would be pretty good business, to consistently be bringing 1 to 2 people a month. The people that you bring in, they also have an hour. And if they have a consistent business, they're going to be bringing 1 or 2 a month. And those people are going to be bringing 1 or 2 a month because they only have an hour. And the beauty of it is you're only giving it an hour over here, but you're getting paid on the organization and the production of the entire group. That is called leveraged income. And if this doesn't look familiar to you, it's because somebody's leveraging you. And there's only 2 sides to this coin, you guys. But you get to decide which side you want to be on. So pretty cool that you can give it an hour and grow into this, and this just keeps snowballing. It gets to the point where no matter if you don't even get out of bed, it's going to keep growing underneath you. You're growing an international team. You're growing people in Korea and Japan. You don't even know anybody in Korea and Japan. And then we have executive level bonuses. We do recognition at regional, right? Okay. Executive level bonuses. And all I really want to say about this is these are great bonuses, $50,000 to $1.5 million. And And usually the question I get is, how long is it going to take me to get my $50,000 bonus? And my answer is, well, I don't know. And does it matter? Because probably at your job there is no $50,000 bonus. So let's just stay the course until we get it. It might take you a few months, it might take you a few years, but who cares? Every single person in this room can get it. It's not for the top 100. It's not for the top 1%. It's not for the first people. It's for every single person in our company. If you stay here long enough and you stay engaged correctly, it's almost impossible not to get them. How cool is that? Because I was in another company for 10 years, and after 10 years, I got a rock, y'all. A rock. And I'm not talking about a diamond. It's like a rock. There's like hope on it. Hope. Like from Michael. Like a buck 25. It wasn't even big enough to be a paperweight. It's like, what is this for? What is this to do with it? Make an earring out of it? I don't even know what it is. I don't even know. Okay. So here we are, we did $100 million in our first year. Compare that to something like a little company called Google, 225,000. You can see that we're significant. No company's ever hit $100 million in their first year, not even Microsoft. One product, one country, $100 million. Second year, $219 million. Third year, $405 million. We're on our way to be a billion-dollar organization by the end of the next full year. And guess what? There's only been five companies on this planet that have hit $1 billion in their first 5 years. And Nerium's about to do it. That's a clue. The industry itself, anti-aging, is going to be a $1 trillion industry. And if those of you who aren't good at math, that's a lot. That's pretty big. That's where you want to be by 2025, and Nerium's a huge part of that. So, we invite you to, there's a couple things you can do. You can leave here and forget this meeting ever happened, or you can go, you know what, I just want to be a customer. I want to use the product. Great, we love customers. With no customers, we have no company. So we invite you to be a customer. But if you're even 1% open to this business opportunity, do yourself the favor of doing whatever due diligence you have to do to make a decision. Either way, even if it's no. I don't care if you join this company. The people involved, we don't care. And I mean that in a nice way. Because we're going with or without you. Nerium's going with or without me. But whoever invited you here is pretty cool, because they want you along for the ride. And it would be a really fun ride for you if you let it. If you engage in a really tight system, we're going to tell you exactly what to do. All you have to do is be willing, have desire, be coachable, and execute it. There is no smoke and mirrors. There is no magic pixie dust. But the worst thing you can do is wait. Because while you're waiting for the baby to be born, to move, for school to get out, for the weather to change, for 10 friends to say they want to join you, or whatever, while you're waiting, someone else is pulling the trigger on this thing and talking to your friends. And the worst feeling is when your friend from high school comes up to you at the grocery store and says, hey, I got to talk to you about my new business. And you're like, dang it. So, anyway, if you're staying for the regional, we're going to start that in a few minutes. If you guys, what do? You guys exit back in? So anyway, thank you guys for your time. I hope to see you guys in a few minutes.